Without any shadow of doubt, Christmas is arguably the most popular holiday on earth. Yet while other Christian groups and other concerned citizens and thinkers and observant human beings are concerned about ancient pagan influences, Christmas is actually a relatively modern tradition. How has it triumphed and how does it now dominate all human consciousness is what we want to look at today and ask, are you ruled by Christmas gods? Can you escape their rule? You bet you can, but do you know how? Yes, you can adopt our original African holiday calendar. You can also understand the true facts about who and what is God. Because God is a deity. Doesn't matter how you explain it, the language you use. God or gods or spirits are deities. The real creator is not a god. Is not God. Is not a spirit. Is not a being. Has no gender. No one on earth today will ever know who the real creator is. We have only an inclination, an intuition that this creator exists, but we cannot pinpoint him because of the chazim. Let's look at the issue of the gods that dominate Christmas and influence Christmas and cause a lot of people to celebrate Christmas today under the subtitles Whose Christmas? Triumph of Modern Gods, European Culture, Original Christmas, and Mental Liberation. One of the first things you will notice when you start to study Christianity is that the word Christmas is not mentioned in any verse, chapter or book of their Bible. Jesus or his disciples or any of the apostles or the early church never attempted to celebrate the miraculous birth of Jesus. So whose Christmas is being celebrated around the world today? It is because of the triumphant of the power of the modern gods. Because Jesus was not born on Christmas. Although Christmas is celebrated on December 25th, it wasn't celebrated like that for years. The earliest Christians did not celebrate Jesus' birth. Why? Because there are more than two Jesuses in the Bible. And the triumphant Jesus, who was created by the Greco Romans and polished by the Romans and the Roman Catholics, is the God that is now the center of Christmas. A man-made, human-made deity. This is the Jesus of Christmas the world now bows down to. In fact, modern Christmas practices evolved along the way, directly being borrowed from various traditions, a lot of them predating the birth of Christ and the origins of Christianity, and they were sanitized through Rome. We see this triumphant of the modern gods and their influence via the European culture that dominates the whole earth today. So the incorporation of traditions which were practiced across the whole of Europe centuries before the arrival of Jesus re-energized the gods that were already in those areas. If today you celebrate and reverence Christmas, you are under the direct influence of those gods, guided and pastored and fathered by your spiritual fathers that are found in the Roman Catholic Church as well as the evangelical movement through European culture. But the actual force, as we have already indicated, are the gods that are keeping you in the loop. The modern European gods that are keeping you in the loop. Therefore, European culture and these gods energize Christmas and making it arguably the most popular religious festivity and holiday today on earth. Likewise, we know that in Germany, they celebrated various practices that were Christmas-like before Christmas. The same thing in Scandinavia. They celebrated Christmas-like traditions before there was even a Jesus or the arrival of the gospel. Odin, who is widely revered as a Norse religious god and generally depicted as king of the Norse gods, is the source of surviving information about him is that he is associated with wisdom, healing, death, royalty, the gallows, knowledge, war, battle, victory, sorcery, poetry, frenzy, and the runic alphabet. He is also depicted as the husband and of the goddess Frigg, and also the Norse religion, which was known in ancient times in Europe, in medieval times in Europe, is also known as in English as Woden, in Anglo-Saxon literature as Wodan, in Dutch as Wodan, and in High Germany as Wotan. And all the festivities, the Christmas tree, modern editions around Christmas, modern celebrations around Christmas are centered on this fella. In Rome, the festivities surrounding the birthday of the sun and the sun god Mithra were all too well common in the days surrounding the winter solstice, and they mimicked modern day Christmas customs, and they were incorporated in modern day Christmas. So when you say compliments of the seasons or Merry Christmas, it's actually Mithra, the reason for the seasons, a happy winter solstice. That's what you are saying. Shown here is a mosaic of that Christ, of that deity, of that God, of that Helios, found in the mausoleum in the pre-4th century necropolis beneath St. Peter's Temple in the Vatican, which can be interpreted today as the triumphant of the Christ or the Sun God. So, are you ruled by Christmas gods? If you celebrate Christmas, yes, you are. You must realize that there is an original Christmas or an original source for Christmas, in which once you know it, these gods that we are discussing here, they die at once, and it will be your choice to ditch them. Some, even in Europe, tried it, and they tried to fight these gods, but they lost the culture wars. The English Puritans, and their spiritual approach, both in America, they condemned Christmas as paganism, as idolatry, and rejected all the traditions, even the burning of the Yule log, the holly and mistletoe, decorated the trees, drinking alcohol, and joyful expressions during this nativity period, but they lost. They even went to their parliament, and legislated it, but they lost. How? Because these gods are revived and are invoked, and they are active. So, we want to look at the modern conquest. How a lot today, that may not be Christians, have been conquered. How almost 90% of the world today follows Christmas. You may think you are not under the embrace of these gods. You may say, I'm a Muslim, I'm a Jew, I'm a Commercian, or I'm an African traditionalist, or something, or I'm awakened. But as long as you attend a Christmas party or sanction a purchase because of Christmas, because of this holiday, and as long as you are on holiday and you go and rest at home and you have food, special food or not special food, but food that you buy under the influence of Christmas, and decorations, the spirit of the Christmas gods is influencing you and running your life. It is what we know today as capitalism, the spirit. Therefore, when we look at how Santa has evolved across the ages and hijacked by commerce, it is clear that this is a modern conquest of the Christmas gods and the rule of the Christmas gods in our pockets, in our bank, and in how we spend our hard-earned money. So you can see St. Nicholas of Bari in 4th century, St. Nicholas 50 AD, St. Nicholas year 1855, then Santa Claus 1881, and then Santa Claus taken over now 1930 by Coca-Cola. And the Santa Claus have changed over the years. He went from being a priest to the biggest promotion of Coca-Cola. This is one of the gods that are popular today. So Christmas, when we look at it, we must understand that its original festival, the origins of Christmas, started prior to Europeans. It is clear that Europeans plagiarized Asian traditions, as can be seen in this chart that we have crafted with 7 holy days, African holy days for every melanin dominant human being. You can see clearly that the 6th one is celebrating Ra's Day, the sun. It is celebrated 3 times a year: October 21, December 21, and then from 21 to 26. Included in this celebration is also Horesu, a descendant of the god Ra. And it is this Horesu that was borrowed and changed and morphed up in many traditions. As Jesus Christ, born of a virgin with 12 disciples and called the Savior, same as Horesu. Of Tammuz, melanin dominant divinity, born of a virgin, killed, then resurrected. His cross sign is the first letter of his name. His name, Tammuz, means Savior, Son. Mitra, we have spoken about him. Krishna, we have spoken about him. Artis, same story. Pinned to the tree till he died, and died for mankind. And Horesu, who predates all of them, then Adonis, and then Dionysius. We shall look at Dionysius because there's a Christmas practice that is very interesting surrounding Dionysius. Then the older origins of Christmas is clearly given when you understand that the modern Christmas season centered around the putting of a Christmas tree, which was borrowed in ancient Kemet 4100 BCE during the Kowaka festival, where we were celebrating the raising of the Jedi and the rising of the sun. The rising of the Jedi is very critical and very important because it has a lot to do with you and your capacity to annually outgrow and sustain your ability to outgrow this dimensional consciousness, which is the 3rd dimension, which is a dangerous dimension for your soul. You have to outgrow it by raising the Jadu, which is shown here. We have dealt with this in many of our videos. It is also clear that the tamarisk tree, Mutusina Zita, the tree with no name, representing this capacity to outgrow the dimension, needs us to be as above as below, to connect out of the dimension from the darkness here where we can't see a lot into the life and the fruits of spirituality. The same with the sun disk, but they then borrowed it and gave it a halo to Jesus and centered around the God Jesus. So this is clear that when applied true knowledge is put into action, it will result in your mental liberation. It is at that point in time when you realize that all these divinities, all these festivals came from ancient Kemet, when you decide to go back and adopt what is actually yours and discard that which the thief and the plagiarizer is teaching you today. When you do that, you get and take your power and you make them powerless. If you don't do that, you remain a slave. You remain being ruled by these foreign gods. Have you ever wondered why drinking beer and wine and getting intoxicated is very popular around Christmas? It is because of the god Dionysius, who was actually a bastardization of our ancient Hamitic divinity Sakumate. There's a story behind what Sakumate did with beer. That's why Christmas, when it's associated with beer, it's very dangerous concoction. Because Dionysius was born of a virgin, 25 December, was put in a manger among the beasts, was a traveling teacher who performed miracles, was the god of the vine and turned water into wine. I've heard that somewhere. So that divinity is also inside Christmas and ruling your soul and your physical life during Christmas. It is clear from this Dionysius that he was identified with the Lamb, an anointed one, Alpha and Omega, King of Kings, God of Gods, sin bearer. He was deemed Father, Liberator, and Savior. He is also identified with dendrites or young men of the tree, indicates he was hung on a tree or crucified. So it's the same stuff that we have been saying for years. Now, if you now know that Christmas is derived from the two words Christ and the Mass, due to Catholic or rather Greco Roman plagiarism and origins, and if you consider yourself a part of the Protestant faith, whether Baptist, Methodist, Pentecostal or anything, and you know that by celebrating a Catholic holiday, Christmas, each year, you confirm you are a Catholic. On the other hand, billions of non-believers who have pondered on this question and got correct, clear answers, turning out that Christmas might not be actually a Christian as well as our own holiday, yet these billions continue to celebrate Christmas. How is this possible? Because by observing the tiniest of practices connected to this festival, you inject and open yourself to the massive power that has been vibrated into Christmas for years. And it comes into you, and the gods who were conjured by Europe and by Rome are empowered by your belief. Yes, you can be free by observing Afro holidays for all melanin dominant human beings, which we are showing here. If you are interested, let us know and we'll share this information with you. Send us an email on join@marifado.com. If for all other purposes and other reasons you say you have your own reasoning and continue to worship and observe Christmas, it is very, very clear that Yaldabaoth, the god Shatta, and the Chitauris are in charge and are controlling your life. It's clear as day and night. You can also get a lot of information from us and get in touch with us. You can visit us on www.marifado.com to find more information. You can go there and create your own username and password and join our app. And you can select also from our homepage books, enrollment, and send us any information or any questions that you think we can discuss and answer. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Hamiti Iburu Ethics. Remember, Christmas is our holiday as well as not our holiday. It depends with what you know, and it depends with where you are connected to. So till we meet again, your manager Topi, Priest Rabbi LM Tumizulu, signing off saying, remember to go back to your original Christmas. Amen.